So if a person, for example, a seed, it grows, it's protected from the sunlight, from bad weather, from severities of weather. In other words, to look after it, that plant, in a balanced way, but regularly ongoing. In the same way, any amal, any deed, if Allah Ta'ala gives us the tawfiq, we do an amal, then continuously to look after it, that deed, continuously to grab hold of it, to look after it, to protect it. What do we call this? The name that's given to this is steadfastness, regularity, consistency. Say subhanallah. What do we call this? Istiqamat, steadfastness, regularity. To be consistent, continue flow. When you get even a so-called minor deed and you do it, and the person is regular in doing that deed, steadfast on that deed, then what's he doing with that deed? That deed continues to grow, expand, benefit, give benefit. And life comes into that good deed. Strength comes into that good deed. Subhanallah. And then that good deed, it spreads, becomes vast. Alhamdulillah, that minor deed becomes azim, great and strong. Because that person perseveres and is steadfast, then he attains a very high status, maqam. And this is called the result of istiqamat, of being steadfast, regular, consistent, committed. So our amal, how long does it continue for? That as long as we enjoy doing that amal. Many people, they come, they have enjoyment. Hazrat Sahib, teach me dhikr, tell us as well, advise us, and they learn dhikr. In the first day, there's a lot of passion and fervor. They sit, they come to the majlis, mashallah, this brother, he's reached a high level status, and he's practicing now. People see this as well, but in reality, the reality is what? That there's no enjoyment in this. Enjoyment is there where a person, he is progressing, he's practicing, but he never stops, he continues, and he is elevated and given a high maqam. And in life, he did one action, alhamdulillah, but he grabbed hold of it, he did it consistently, regularly, without looking left and right, without putting on the brakes, and he doesn't leave it. Subhanallah. And that is a very important amal for that person in life. And that is deserving of him getting forgiveness. But a person who just practices once or just a couple of times with a lot of energy, and oh look, he's got great maqam. He started to break tahajjud, nawafil actions, recites Quran. But as time passes, nafs, the base desires are very strong, very clever. And when his enjoyment ceases, because we travel along the path of enjoyment. When something gives us enjoyment, we continue to do it. But remember, our objective is not enjoyment, it is rada, pleasure of Allah. Pleasure of Allah. Not personal enjoyment. Say subhanallah. It's not enjoyment, it is pleasure of Allah. That Allah should be pleased with us. That's our objective. So whether we enjoy or not, whether we feel like it or not, whether our heart feels like it or not, no. We have started doing dhikr, we are not going to leave dhikr. Subhanallah. Say subhanallah. Now, if we select a day, let's take an example, that on this day I'm going to attend the dhikr majlis, then don't leave that day. Steadfastness. And without steadfastness, we have the fruit, the plant. One is the raw plant, and one is the fully, you could say, cooked plant. So will you like to have the fully cooked plant or the raw plant that's not being grown fully? Now we want the fully grown one sweet. Nobody will want the bittersweet one, will they? Yes, the fruit. So what's the difference here? Is that when that pomegranate that grew and it stayed on the tree, on the branch for a lengthy amount of time, and that fruit stood there, stayed on the branch, in the heat, it was given that growth, and every person prefers that type of fruit. Fully grown and ripe, it's ripe. And if a person says for £1, no, I don't want this one, 3, rather I'll give you £3 and I'll take the sweet pomegranate, because its value increases. In the same way, you have a raw deed, and one is a ripe deed. So the raw deed is that you've done that deed, you've worked hard at that time, maybe 1 week or 5 days or 2 months, 1 year, 2 years, and after that, what happens? That the emphasis on that deed reduces, that the amal, it stays raw. In the akhirah there will be no value, because you did not solidify that deed, you did not make it robust, you didn't allow it to grow and ripen and become mature, you should say. So this is the difference. We have a lot of desire nowadays, and we see this. Tell me more. Tell me more prayer to do. I want to do optional fasts and voluntary this action and optional. I'll keep 7 fasts in the day or 3 in the month. And when we start doing those actions, then after that we're going to U-turn, reverse gear. Yes, deflated. slowly, I've seen this kamal, that when I used to go to Hadhrat side, my Sheikh, then before that, Allahu Akbar, what was the situation? That when a person gets the farmer who tills and works hard and farms the land, then the plant doesn't know where am I going to be planted, where am I going to grow. So for example, we say, I'll do this action, I'll do that action, I can do this action. Hazrat Junaid Baghdadi, he said, Hazrat, so now you have gone to a very high level and you're about to depart after all these years in my company. And the beloved of his said that, why, for example, do you have problem, difficulty? Don't do tasbih. And he said, put it down. He said, why are you saying this? This tasbih took me to this level. So I leave that tasbih now, do I? That I give you wasiyah that when I pass away, that you also put this tasbih with me into my grave. Subhanallah. Istiqamat, regularity. So every wali Allah who became a wali, everyone who